Imagine holding a piece of tech history that was dead on arrival, yet somehow became a cult classic. In 2017, Apple did something they almost never do. They got scared. Microsoft was eating their lunch with the Surface Studio, and professional creators were abandoning the Mac in droves. So Apple panicked. They took their iconic all-in-one desktop, painted it a menacing space gray, crammed server-grade Intel Xeon processors inside it, and called it the iMac Pro. It was a $5,000 stopgap. A beautiful, powerful, tragic band-aid meant to keep pros happy until the real Mac Pro arrived. And then, just like that, Apple discontinued it, leaving it to rot in the tech graveyard. But here's the crazy part. It's been years since Apple killed the iMac Pro, yet if you look at the secondary market right now, people are still buying them. Creators, developers, and music producers are actively hunting for this specific machine. Why are people paying cold hard cash for an abandoned Intel Mac in the era of Apple Silicon M-series chips? Is it just nostalgia? Or did Apple accidentally build a machine so ahead of its time that it's still viable today? To understand the obsession, we have to go back to the moment of creation. The year is 2017, and Apple is in deep trouble with their core audience. The trash can Mac Pro from 2013 was a beautiful disaster. It looked like a sci-fi prop, but it was a thermal nightmare. Couldn't handle dual GPUs without overheating, and Apple had painted themselves into a corner. The creative community felt betrayed. They felt like Apple only cared about iPhones and iPads, leaving the people who actually built the ecosystem out in the cold. So, Apple called a secret meeting with top journalists. They did something unprecedented. They apologized. They admitted they messed up. But they also promised a revolution. While they worked on a modular Mac Pro, they needed something immediate to save face. Enter the iMac Pro. When you first saw it, it looked familiar but entirely different. That space gray aluminum chassis was sleek, aggressive, and exclusive. Even the Magic Keyboard and trackpad came in matching space gray. Accessories that people were literally scalping on eBay for hundreds of dollars just because Apple wouldn't sell them separately at first. But the real magic wasn't the color. It was what Apple managed to engineer inside a chassis that was only 5 millimeters thin at the edges. They completely redesigned the thermal architecture. They ditched the traditional single-fan design and built a dual-blower system that increased airflow by an astronomical 80%. They needed it because inside this razor-thin frame sat a massive power supply and an Intel Xeon W processor with up to 18 cores. This wasn't a laptop chip crammed into a desktop. This was a workstation beast. And then there was the display. A 27-inch Retina 5K display capable of 500 nits of brightness and 1 billion colors. For video editors, colorists, and photographers, it was absolute heaven. You didn't just look at your work. You were immersed in it. But Apple didn't stop there. They introduced something quiet, something most casual users missed. But it changed everything. The T2 security chip. This tiny silicon edition handled everything from secure boot encryption to image signal processing for the webcam. More importantly,